And then just one thing, Clay, on college football here, obviously, as we enter the final week here, the regular season, rivalry week, and championship starting, and bowls to be discussed, and which team's going to be going to the playoffs. Well, we know BC won't be going to a bowl. Neither will UNC with Bill Belichick, for that matter, too. But the big news out of college football this week is the coaching, always an interesting coaching carousel. Lane Kiffin, everybody knows the name Lane Kiffin, obviously the coach of the Ole Miss Rebels down there. And, well, he has made himself a self-imposed deadline on where he wants to go, whether he's going to stay in Ole Miss, go to LSU or Florida. I know one team he's not going to go, and that's to BC. But,
no.
Clay, just quickly, if you were Lane Kiffin here, has been around, obviously, he's coached in the NFL, he's coached college for a number of different years. What would you do? You're in his situation. Stay at Ole Miss, where you've amassed a pretty successful tenure in a few short years here. Go to LSU. You get to stay in the SEC, make some more money. I don't think he's going to go to Florida and try to revamp that program, but what would you do if you were Lane Kiffin?
Well, what Lane Kiffin is doing, what would I do if I was Lane Kiffin? Let's put myself as Lane Kiffin, which obviously he's given himself this 1 week deadline in order to make a decision or in order to find out who's going to pay him the most, which is what's happening here. He's going to find out who's going to pay him the most, and that's where he is going. It doesn't matter if it's Florida, doesn't matter if it's LSU, but he's giving him that window to make me a deal, and that's what he will go with. So that's what's going to happen. Lane Kiffin will no longer be at Ole Miss at the end of the season.
All right, well, that's a prediction there. And if that does happen, and if Ole Miss I was going to make a bowl, old friend Joe Judge, remember him for the Patriots?
Yeah.
And obviously coached the Giants as well. Didn't work out so well with him there, but he'll serve as the interim head coach down there in Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin goes. And we will see what happens with that scenario. We understand he is huddling with Nick Saban and Pete Carroll, guys that he's coached under, and asking their advice for what he wants to do. And
so what's it? All former Belichick cronies now end up in college now. I mean, Joe Judge too.
Yeah.
Where's Matt Patricia?
I think Matt Patricia is still with Ohio State.
There we
go. That correct.
Yeah. They're going college on us.
So we'll see what happens with Lane Kiffin. Maybe he'll do, if he goes to LSU, maybe he'll do better than Brian Kelly, a guy that was born in Everett, Massachusetts, coached at Notre Dame, was pried away from Notre Dame, and then even though he grew up in Everett, he put on a Southern drawl when he went to LSU, and that didn't sit well with people. So
he's just trying to fit in.
I guess so.